introduce this one. Feature graphic. This is another optional graphic. It is reasonably optional. This is the graphic that shows up if you go to the web version of the Android market, and there's a big kind of bannery guy that's to the right of your app's icon and the buy now, and it's above the description. This big thing. So some companies have that. That's what this guy is. So if you drop that one in, about an hour later, you'll get the big graphic. Of course, title, description, recent changes. It used to be the description was kind of constrained in terms of the total word count that you could do. That's less of an issue now. But the trick that people used to do is you'd stick more description kind of stuff in your recent changes. I don't think that's quite as important, but I think still, put important salesy kind of stuff in both of those. That is your really fast bit to convince somebody to, hey, I want, this is why you want to buy my app. Content protection. This is a little checkbox. Hey, do you want content protection? It's actually deprecated. Don't use it. Use the other APIs. If you turn this on, I've done it. Some devices won't be able to find your app on the App Store. At least I think that's true. I have a Wi-Fi Zoom that can't find my app. They do a search by name, do search by keywords. Nope, not found. Which usually means that you have some kind of a filtery thing, some sort of requirement that kind of prevents it from showing up. I don't. But I emailed Google about it, and they said it was because I had copy protection turned on. Anyway, tips and tricks. Contact information. At the bottom of filling out this form, it says, hey, what's the contact information? And if you look at the help, it says, hey, in case we, meaning Google is the implication, need to contact you, we're going to use this information to contact you. So, Apple has an analogous thing where you give them some information to call you in case they don't like something in your description and they want you to change it prior to approving your app, or any number of reasons that they call you up and say, we need you to do something. And so it's a good thing for Apple to have your phone number, because then your app doesn't have to go back into the back of the queue, right? Yeah, so Google's lying. This is the information that gets displayed with your app that all the users get to see. So if you put your phone number in here, did it. All of a sudden your phone number's on the out there for everybody to see. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. The good news is that when you change this stuff, it takes like just a few minutes to update. Anyway, so tips and tricks. Tips and tricks. Okay, so you upload the application. You can save the app. So you notice I had that calendar app that it does. It's not in a published state. You can put your app out there and kind of saves the spot. So uploading the app, according to Google, locks in your what do you call it? Drawing a blank. Not the domain name. The package name for your app. Thank you. So the full package path. It'll lock that so that only you got it. I don't know if it locks in the actual app name.
It doesn't.
Can you have duplicate app names on the Android market? That rocks. That is awesome. All right, so there's no review process, right? Publish an app. It's up on the Android market just about as fast as it takes Google to propagate the code. So I pushed an update this afternoon to my app, and in about the time it took me to check my email, back up my code, copy everything, do a backup because I just published, and then I went back and checked on my Nexus 1, and there the update was. So it's really pretty fast. It took quite a while to check my email, but anyway. So yeah, it happens really fast. Also, you can't buy your own app with your account that you used to publish. Interesting.
It just gives you an error. It just says like service unavailable. I don't know what I've tried.
It gives you this cryptic error that makes you go, did I do it wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it's by design. It's just a crappy error.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be a little bit more sneaky if you want to buy your own app. Which there's sometimes you want to do that to just verify that everything's working. You'd be surprised how silly users can be sometimes. Comments. So this is a little bit of screenshotty thing from my thing. My app hasn't been out that long. You notice how I've got lots of comments? We'll talk about that in a second. So this is kind of cool. You click on the link and you can see all the comments for the app, even the ones that aren't in English, so I assume it's for all the markets. What I do is kind of an iOS trick that's been going on forever. I assume the Android guys do it. Is you basically prompt your users to review the app. So you say, hey, my app's awesome. I'm glad you've been using it. Do you want to rate it? Right? In my experience, Android users seem to be a little bit more responsive to that prompt than the iPhone users. Kind of food for thought. So one thing that I do though, so prompting users, so it's a little trick, you don't prompt users the first time they run the app. What you want to do is you want to figure out what is the metric that determines that this user is successfully using the app, right? So my app's an email client. Well, am I going to prompt a user that hasn't successfully connected with the email client to review my app? No. Right? I say, all right, well, wait at least a day and somebody that has successfully connected 3 times. And then I prompt them. And it works really well. Notice I have like 4 out of 5 stars. They're happy. That means I've queued into the happy user demographic, right? So I totally recommend doing this. Don't abuse it. For a little while, so the problem on the iPhone, you get your rating thing gets reset every time you upload a new version. Your average, right? So it'll say average. It's like that. They give you like one number that's across all versions and then one that's for the most recent version. And the most recent version is what people see on their devices. And so what you want is you want everybody that has reviewed it before, especially those nice 5-star guys, to come back and just say, yes, I want to do it again. Oh, yes, thank you. Do it again, right? Yeah, if you do that, they get annoyed, so don't do that. Don't keep prompting people to review. They just get pissed. As long as you keep a good supply of users coming in, it's fine. You'll get enough reviews. So anyway, another thing. So I did a beta initially, and I put all this nice little stuff into the app so that it would grab the log and could send it to me in a support request. So somebody says, hey, app crashed. It's running a beta. It's allowed. And so they, could attach the log. Well, you don't need to do that because here on Android Market, I can click on that little errors link, and it's going to show me the nice little the stack trace. Go Java. So iPhone has something kind of similar. It sucks. It never works. Okay. The stack traces just never show up. They don't align with your code. It's completely useless. On here, it's awesome. So you click on there, you get to see the nice little stack trace. There's even a thing, I have never seen it myself, but evidently there's some way that users, when they see a big crash, they can enter a little text. This is what I was doing. Never seen it. But I've seen text from users, so yeah, it's awesome. So it's grouped by type. You can also kind of say, yeah, I've taken care of that one. Another thing, if you actually want to get the log, is I've seen this app. It's called SendLog. Some guy wrote it. It's free. So when I've seen it, especially good crash, and somebody says, "Hey, it crashed," I said, "Well, I want to see the stack trace for the particular crash you're talking about, so I know what you're talking about, because users aren't sometimes they're not good testers, right?" So I point him to this thing and I say, okay, reproduce the crash, and then go and run this app and send me the dump, and that works good. Here's another thing, statistics. I would give my right arm for this on iPhone. Seriously. Yeah, won't go there. Statistics. So you get this nice little pie chart. This isn't the, Google has the nice little pie charts that are across the whole Android market. I don't know if that's, yeah, it's for like the 30-day prior, right, kind of thing. It's pretty nice. Very useful. This, they actually, so new thing is the statistics for your app. So the people that bought your app, you get statistics information. So you get a pie chart, looks like that, and then you also get a little table that actually has percentages and counts for each thing. So things you get platform version, you get the device, as in Droid X, you get country, you get language. This language is disappointingly useless because they don't say EN, DE, whatever. They say EN-US, EN-UK, EN-, which is the same thing as country. Almost, right? So my pie chart for country and for language are like identical. I don't know why somebody wasn't thinking. Anyway, so this is a breakdown for my app, which has only been out on the Android market for a little while. So it's kind of telling that I've had so my app support's down to 1.5. Because according to the big pie on Google's chart, right, that's like somewhere between 5 and 10% of the total market. I've had 3 sales for the 1.5 and the 1.6. They appear to have just disappeared.
Everything that's shipping out new is either 2.2 or higher right now.
In the U.S. probably. Globally, the problem is you got these crazy people that are trying to ship. I don't know. The story is that you got these guys that are trying to ship really cheap devices, and so there's still actually some shipping of that lower end stuff. I don't know. My experience though with my app, and that's kind of the cool thing, because you can kind of, well, are those guys still there? Are they not updating? Are the carriers mean and not giving them the update? Whatever. We can debate that, but stats, it's reality, right? When I was a product manager, one of the sayings we used to use was, your opinion, however interesting, is irrelevant. In other words, prove it, right? Talk to a customer. What do they say, right? I can think what that customer really wants, but you got to go talk to them and kind of prove it. That's the nice thing about stats, right? View merchant account. So this is, here's kind of a screenshot. There's basically a link, and this takes you into Google Checkout and gives you detail on all the transactions. So you actually get like the names of users. You don't quite get their email address, though there is a through Google Checkout email address. So it's kind of the good news is you've got detail. The bad news is there's no aggregation. You've got the CSV file with all the gory detail, and what I want to know is okay, yesterday, how many sales did I get in the Netherlands? I sell quite a bit of my app in the Netherlands and in Germany, which is kind of a funny thing. So how many did I get yesterday? Is it going up? Is it going down?